He says, take my yoke upon you and learn of me. I'm meek and lowly in heart. You'll find rest for your souls. You see, when we walk with Jesus, what the outcome, as far as He's concerned, is we will find rest for our souls. Not full of care and worry and anxiety that I'm not doing enough, but rest for your souls. Verse 30, look at this. My yoke is easy. How about that? I've had all kinds of conversations with people who don't like the way I preach, who don't like what I'm saying. And one accusation a person brought to me, that you're making it too easy. And my answer is, look, it wasn't my idea. Look at this verse, verse 30. My yoke is easy. Jesus said that. It wasn't me, it's Him. He said it. And again, if a person's making it hard, I think maybe that's something other than Jesus. You know, there's a lot of other things other than Jesus. But if it's Jesus, He says, and I've got His word for it right here, my yoke is easy. My burden is light. Not hard and heavy, easy and light. Why is it easy? Well, picture the animals we were talking about. It's easy because He's pulling all the weight. It's light because He's carrying the whole burden. All we're doing is walking along with Him. How about that? He's walking along with us through our life, and if we'll let Him, He'll pull the weight. He'll carry the burdens. Now, if you insist on carrying them, I guess you can carry the burdens, you know, and the burdens, you know, did you notice He says, learn of me, rest for your souls. I told you the word soul is suke, your psyche. Where we carry the burdens is up here. This is where we carry a lot of burdens, worries and anxieties and cares. But if we'll let Him, He'll carry those for us. And we can just walk along with Him and live a happy, carefree kind of a life. And He teaches us through that. Now, I can't ever read this verse to you from the King James without also giving you the Message, because I love it so much. Anna, give me verse 28 from the Message. Go back to verse 28. He says, and I love this because I can picture this in a TV commercial. This sounds like I can just see Jesus just desperately offering this Christian life to us. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? I think about Rodney Howard-Browne and all those things. And I in my own life, I could tell you my own set of stories like that. It's a misconception that we fall into sometimes, thinking that if we can do enough, that we can accomplish God's work. It's a process, and it takes time. We have to walk with Him and grow with Him. Are you tired, worn out, burned out on religion? Come to me. Get away with me and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. That's a beautiful promise from the Lord. Let's get the next one. Listen carefully in the light of what we've said today. Walk with me. Work with me. Watch how I do it. You see, the way we learn from Him is watch how He does it. Now, I don't mean literally, because we don't see Him with our physical eyes. But He's walking with you during your life, during your everyday life. And if you listen to Him, He'll help you in all the multitudes of decisions we make, all the ways we react to things during the day. If we'll be conscious of it, He'll help us navigate through life. You know, think about all the different things that we confront in life, and how the different ways that we could respond to the things that happen in life. But if we'll listen to Him, He'll help us respond. And you know, if we'll listen to Him and respond the way He would respond, and we learn from Him in that process. We learn from Him. And do you know what happens? It's almost like magic. Our lives become transformed by changing our mind, by learning from Him. Walk with me, work with me, watch how I do it. This is so beautiful. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. It's something that flows, it's natural, because it's flowing out of who you really are on the inside in Christ. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill-fitting on you. Is there one more? Keep company with me, and you'll learn how to live freely and lightly. Keep company with me, and you'll learn how to live freely and lightly. I don't know if it ever occurred to you, but that's what the goal of the Christian life is. Our one goal is to live freely and lightly. And I think that's the best recommendation of the Christian life to other people. You know, if you're sad and depressed and downcast and full of anxiety and care and worry, it's likely that people aren't going to come along and say, boy, I just want what you have. But, you know, if we walk with Him, and this is another thing about it, think about Jesus. Evidently, He lived that way, freely and lightly. It reminds me of that picture that Charlie furnished for us. I have one frame back there, Jesus laughing. Have you ever seen that picture of Jesus laughing? I think that's more true, more real, more like the fact, you know, than otherwise. See, I can't picture Jesus going through his ministry all full of anxiety and worry and, oh, you disciples, you all pray for me. I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't carry this burden 1 minute longer. I can't picture him being like that. I think Jesus, not that he was flippant or unconcerned. He was very concerned, but he was living freely and lightly. He wasn't carrying anxieties and worries and cares. He's walking with God, walking with the Holy Spirit, walking with his Father every day, depending on him. And now he is that way for us. He's our shepherd, our good shepherd, and invites us just to walk with him freely and lightly. And in the process of doing that, you see, the Christian life is all about us focusing our attention on him. In the process of doing that, we discover who we really are and how we the will of God for our lives. It's not that we have to go independent of him and go dig it out and search it out somewhere and manufacture it. It just comes naturally from walking with him. Sometimes somebody asks me, how did you get started doing, teaching the Bible and ministering and those kind of things? And they imagine Jesus came in some kind of a vision, or he wrote it in the stars or something. It wasn't like that at all. Just as a Christian, just as me, just living my Christian life and actually struggling, trying to find some things out, and walking with the Lord, it just grew. I just found it growing there one day. Just this. And God opened doors, and it just naturally grew. And I didn't manufacture it, and I didn't plan it out, When we were in Bible school, my friends in the music group, in the Rhema Singers, we would all talk about, they all had these plans, and they were making their letterheads and their business cards for their ministry they're going to start. And I just couldn't see doing that. I couldn't imagine it. And they would all say, you'll probably end up pastoring a church. That'll be the day, But God did it all. It all just grew out of just walking with him. And what I'm saying is not to use me for an example, but the same thing is true for you. Whatever you do with the Lord, it just grows there because he planted it there. And each one of us is individual, and each one of us is special. And whatever it is that we do in our lives, he walks with us and helps us do all those things. Let me read you one thing before we close. I have this little quotation from Martin Luther that I really like. I was reading him a while ago, and this just came to mind. Well, now that I said that, I hope I can find it. Oh, yeah, here it is. He says, he's talking about the things that we do how we live in our lives. Now, every one of us can note and tell for himself when what he does is good or not good. If he finds his heart is confident and that it pleases God, whatever he's doing is good, even if it is such a small thing as picking up a straw. But if confidence is absent, if he doubts, if the work is not good, although he should raise all the dead and should give his body to be burned, in this faith, all works become equal. One is like another. All distinctions in our works fall away, whether they be great or small, long or short, few or many. For our works and the things that we do are acceptable not for their own sake, but because of our faith in Christ, which alone is acceptable before God. In this faith, our faith works and lives in each one of our other works without distinction, however numerous or various they may be. Just as all the members of the body work and live and have their name from the head, without the head no member can work and live or work or have a name. For which it further follows that a Christian who lives in faith has no need to have a teacher of good works, because whatever he finds he does in all is done well. Isn't that a beautiful thought? Well, let's all stand up today. Jesus!